After Effects that doesn't take too long, relatively easy. It was callouts. You saw that in the scene before this. It's a great way to have a call to action or point attention to something that the viewer might not have seen otherwise, and it just looks cool to have something 3D in your scene that's moving around or going with the camera. So if you jump in with me, I'll show you how to do it. Let's go. First thing you're going to want to do is make a new project, grab the clip that you want, and then drag it down into this area here. I've already done that. After that, you're going to click on your clip. You're going to right click, you're going to click track camera. It's going to say analyzing camera with a blue bar across it, and then it's going to say solving camera. After that, you should be able to get to it by looking up here and then clicking on this 3D camera tracker. And if you scrub through the footage, just left and right, you should be able to see these points. You can right click on this, click create null, just creating a placeholder really. Click on that layer, kind of zoom in. Hold space to drag around. Zoom in, let's expand that out a little bit. Hold shift, keep that aspect ratio. Now we can see this for later use. Now the hardest part of this is actually making the call out, and that's pretty similar to making a lower thirds. And to do that, we're going to come up here to this composition. We're going to click new composition. 800 by 800 should be good. Black by default, 15 seconds should be okay. Press OK. It's going to bring you to this. Now let's just start drawing. What do we want? We want a line that animates out. So come up here, click this pen tool, or press G. I'm going to click it. Click here, drag there, and I'm going to click off of that. I'm going to grab this ellipse tool. If you don't have this, click and hold, then get the ellipse. I'm going to drag this here, press V, kind of align it onto the center. Click off, and I'm going to drag another one. After I grab the tool again, drag that there, press V, align it to the center. What you'll notice is on these ellipses, the anchor point is here in the center of the composition, and you want it to be in the center of the circle. Otherwise, if you mess with scale or position, it will fly out from the center. So if you scale it up from nothing, it will scale from the center and then move over to the left, and that's not what we want. We just kind of want it to appear out of nowhere. So click on the other one, press Y, drag that to the center. So now click on these two, shift click on the top two there, press S. Let's move forward a couple frames. That looks good, I guess. Click the stopwatch so we can insert a keyframe. Then let's go back to the beginning. If you hold shift, it will snap. And then let's change it to 0. So now if we change it to 0 to this one, now if we go forward, the circles just scale in from 0, and that looks pretty cool. Now we have to do something for this line because that's just staying there, which is fine. So expand that line out. Click this play button. Go to trim paths. That's just going to animate your line. It's going to draw it in whatever direction that you did. So bring this end down to 0. You can see that it starts to reduce. Drag your timer to the front. Click the keyframe for start. Let's come up to a couple keyframes about right there where those are, and then bring it up to 100%. So if we press space from the start, it does that. We don't want them to all animate at the same time. Kind of want it to stagger them out. So I'm going to move that one forward, and then I'm going to move that one forward. So it's kind of like a process. Cool. So now I'm going to highlight all of these, and I'm going to press F9, which is the easy ease. You can also right click, go to keyframe assistant, and then click easy ease. But just highlight, press F9, always looks better in my opinion. It starts off fast and slows down, makes it smooth. Like that. Now we need to add some text. So press Control T or come up here and click this T button. Come over here. It's called beta alanine. That's actually what we're using the call out for. Drag that there. Click off, and then I'm going to click back on it. Press V for my select, hold shift. Scale it up some. And then let's give it like a bullet point description, but you can't do bullets, so I'm just going to type delays fatigue. Hold control, drag that underneath. Now we need to animate this text in. So I'm going to come over here to effects and presets, type in linear wipe, and you'll find this linear wipe, and then drag it onto, let's say, the description. But don't drag it onto this, drag it onto the layer. So delays fatigue, layer, drop. And then let's get another effect. Let's go to animation presets, text, animate in, fade up lines. That will just fade in the entire text line. Some do word by word, some do letter by letter, but this will just do the entire thing. So drag that onto the layer. And now if we bring it back from the beginning and animate it. So that's still being faded in. This needs to happen a little bit sooner. I'm going to expand that out. Expand the beta align out. Animator. Highlight these. I was just trying to get to the keyframes. Move that forward a little bit. And then I'm come over here to effects. This linear wipe, and I'm gonna move those. Let me move this one forward so it happens a little bit faster, because that was a little bit delayed. So that looks like it should be okay. So I'm gonna minimize everything we have here. And then we're gonna take this thing we just animated and drew, and we're gonna put that on our page with the footage that we want to use. So highlight all of this stuff, Control A or highlight it with your mouse, and then Control Shift C. That's going to pre-comp. Basically just makes this all into one layer, and then you can double click on it and access it all again. Pre-comp 1. So we're going to name this callout. That's what it is. And then we're going to go back to our other composition, our original one here that we drew this little null layer on. Come up here to the top left, find your project. There's our callout, the thing we just made. We're just going to drag it on here to this and pull it up to the top so it's above everything and you can see it. Now let's just have a little preview of what it looks like. Looks pretty cool. So we're going to make the callout, actually we're going to make it 3D. So come over here to the left where this cube is. Check that cube. And then we're going to attach it to this null, which it tracks with the camera, so it just stays there. And we want the same thing to happen with our callout, so we're going to track it to it. So click, shift, click, drag to track null. Now it's a little bit big, but we can fix that, but let's just check to make sure that it's tracking. So it does seem to be tracking. I'm going to press V and kind of realign it and scale it down to where I think, hold space. I'm just going to kind of align it to where I think it would be, but it is tracking with it, just not in the right spot. Okay, so let's see what it looks like now. Now it's holding its spot. And it's animating forward. If you want to do one more thing to make it a little bit more 3D, press W, come to this x-axis, and just kind of like align it so where it would be vertical if you were looking at it straight on. That looks okay. Press V for your selector tool. There it goes. Now we have an animated callout. And we'll stay in that position for as long as we go forward or run out of footage. It looks pretty cool, in my opinion. It's a great way to have a attention to something that someone might not have noticed, or add details that you can't immediately see on the screen, like maybe for like a person and their age and their height or something, if you're giving details, or a call to action like if you do X then this happens. But that's it. That's how to do callouts. They're super cool, super easy. The only thing that took time was animating this and the time it takes to track your camera. Other than that, if this helped you, make sure to leave a like. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. If you want to see more vids like this, definitely make sure to subscribe. I'm putting out new videos every day. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you in the next video.